Hello again, it's Amanda from Carousel Nursery, and the last time that well, just a few minutes ago actually, we were talking about veining. I'm going to try to put all these videos together around the same period of time because I'm going to be leaving Ryan to sit with his first few layers for maybe a day or two before I start on his next ones. So we need another cup. You're going to need a pair of tweezers, and I didn't include this in the supplies because hopefully you guys all have pair of tweezers at home. If not, one of the things you can do, and I've seen a lot of artists do, and I do this on some of my dolls, is the sponge. But I still want to show you how to do this, so let me find my makeup sponges. They're back here. Because you may want to do it this way. So you have your makeup sponge. You're going to take your tweezer. You're going to pinch the makeup sponge and twist until you have a bunch of little holes. So spots like this sponge. Like that. So eventually you're going to end up with a sponge that looks something like that. Just keep pinching, make sure you get the edges off. You do not want these edges because they will show up, the corners and the edges. So you want to take all of that off or they will show up. So anyway, I'm going to move my blue. Always make sure you put your paints back up because if my kit touches this blue or I touch this blue, blue will spread. It will spread everywhere. In fact, perhaps you should wash your hands after, but the blue is already dried on me. It's not gonna come off, so we're good. So I'm going to use the kitchen sponge, and this will be the first time I use it as a mottling sponge. Usually I use it as a texture layer. I've already got some pink and white mixed up, but I just want the liquid from this. So let's move you down there. We're gonna come out about 4 times. You could even just pour a tiny bit in there, but okay, that's good. Sometimes I overkill it. And I'm doing this on my laptop. Just seeing a lot of abuse. And then you're going to need your red. And since I am no longer using... Ooh, Jesus. Bye. Since I am no longer... This is why it's such a good thing that I changed my setup. I'm no longer using my blush red or lip red that came with Bountiful Baby because it dried out and it caused flaking in some of my dolls. Make sure you're putting your lids back on your babies. So I'm going to use a red, but you don't have to do this. You can use the blush red, and then I'm also going to use a flesh color. Let's see. I'm going to put my flesh color in here first. I want a nice pale pinkish color from that liquid that I used. Alright, so I just got to drop it something somewhere. I'm going to use a tiny bit of this red. This is a very bright red. When I ordered it, I did not realize it was going to be this bright of red. If I get a little bit of a different color in this, it doesn't matter that much. So you see how red that came with just a tiny bit of red. So that's why I need my white. And this is titanium white, but it doesn't look like it because, I'm sorry, it doesn't look like it because I did get a little color in there. So I'm going to clean my brush a little bit, use quite a bit of the white to make it a pale pink color. Okay, so I might have to run and get a charger cord in a minute, but we should be able to get through the modeling first. You're going to want to start at the back of the neck always, because that way if you make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. This is a brand new sponge, so we'll see how this works. You're going to paint the sponge. With these, you don't really have to squeeze the excess out. Yeah, see, I don't think this is going to work for mottling, guys. It works great for texture, but not for the mottling. If you can see what I mean, it's just a little weird. So I'm going to switch to my, I just had it, my mottling sponge. So you just want to go much better. So it's at the back of the neck, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. You just want to go over the entire baby, and I'll get to the lips and the ears because this is going to add an extra blushing layer. Nobody wants your nose over here, doggy. Alright, so for this, I'm just going to pat it on there. He's not going to be that spotty. You can see it's already drying a palish pink. And this will be under a few layers of paint. With the budget kits, they don't get a ton of layers of paint. I am going to blot it off because I'm getting closer to the face. I do have Kindle, who is a budget baby, if anyone's looking for one that is mostly finished. Her rooting has started and she is $150, but she will have to go at the end of the rooting line because I have so many babies ahead of her. So for the nose, I'm going to blot it across. I don't want the nose spotty. I'm going to blot it across the eyes very gently because I have not baked on those veins. And then I'm going to blot it across the lips. I think this baby's meant to be a darker tone baby, but we're going to make him light skinned for this tutorial. But with the flesh colors, you can use whatever flesh color that you pick, since this is a budget baby and not one that the flesh colors are worked out layer by layer. So there's his face with the mottling. If you don't like the mottling on the cheeks, you can always work that into a blush by doing that. Okay. So we're going to set them here, and then we're going to grab the limbs and quickly go over them. This is not easy, and to start your first baby, you're probably going to be looking at spending between $150 to $300. So if you're, I don't know, I can't believe I did that. I set the baby on the wet towel and it actually looks like spotty mottling on there. That was my mistake. Careful of your workspace. There's a smiley face. Probably can't see it. I'm gonna leave it there. You can go across the base of the top of the hand. Some artists don't, and that's fine. I just blush this in. I don't make it look motley, so I just push a little harder on this part and across the knuckles. I forgot what I was saying now. So we're just gonna go across real fast. Make sure we got every spot because you don't want a spot mottled and a spot not mottled. As I was told, not a lot of babies have the mottling, but some people seem to prefer that technique. Set it in my lap instead of on the towel. Just like the one before. When this bakes in, the veins and the mottling should bake a little lighter than the actual color that we used. You can blot right there on the elbow if you'd like, so it's not mottled, because that's what I was talking about. I was told that not everybody will mottle like this, not every baby. Usually it's fair skinned babies that will mottle like this. So it's your decision whether you want to include this layer. I know a lot of people do like it. Every time I pick up my brush, I'm gonna stir. I got just enough in here to do the legs. So we're just gonna go over. Do the knee, dabble it a little bit. That's not my blushing layer, that's just working up a blushing layer. So, get it on there. We're not going to mottle the base of the foot, but we'll come down here a little bit. Just make sure we get it all in there. Don't worry about the creases so much because we're going to come back and crease those. I'm not going to wipe off my bowl because when I come back I'm going to use the same bowl to mix a little blushing layer. So we'll go across there, and that should be good. I'll show you guys what it looks like after it bakes, and I don't bake my budget babies until after I'm done with veining, mottling, blushing, and creasing. Alright, so if you're down to the bottom like this, mix it around a little bit. You can just dab your sponge in here if you need to. Just enough to do the last leg. I still make my budget babies look as realistic as possible, but they are budget babies, so they are going to be quickly put together and not as detailed as one of my custom babies. We're gonna blot over that to work the blushing layer up, blot across the toes, and do not paint here right now. We'll get to that. Across the foot, and then check them over, make sure that there's no spots missing, like right there, and that looks good. Alright, so that is the mottling layer, and I will be back. I'm going to have to plug my phone in a little bit to show you. I'll do the blushing and the creasing layer all together as one. Again, this is Amanda Gray with Carousel Nursery Reborns. You can look me up on Facebook. I'm not accepting orders through YouTube or any other channel except Facebook, and my orders are very limited right now. I am stock full. I don't know, here, you can see I am stock full of babies. So I honestly don't need any more orders right now. My orders will open back up in April. Alright guys, you guys have a good day. Bye.